As Minecraft has been released on nearly every single major platform in recent years, and as Mojang is moving towards unifying every single version of the game besides the Java edition under one Minecraft umbrella known as the Bedrock edition, it's no surprise that we've officially seen the Minecraft Nintendo Switch edition of the game already be considered out of date. But all of that is about to change, and the Nintendo Switch is getting the Bedrock update, which means Nintendo Switch users will be able to play the game with Windows 10, mobile, and Xbox One users. That's crazy. Only one question remains though, however: how does it stack up? And not only how does this new version of the game stack up in terms of going against the Nintendo Switch edition of the game, but rather all Bedrock versions of the game too? Well, in this video, we're set out to answer just that. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So let's start from the top. Upon booting up Minecraft for the Nintendo Switch, you'll be greeted with a very similar screen to just about all other Bedrock versions of the game. However, in the bottom left corner, you'll notice a button that says sign in with a Nintendo account. After you've signed in with your Nintendo account, you'll find that the button has been replaced with another, asking you to sign in with a Microsoft account. When clicked, you'll be met with a screen asking you to go to a website known as aka.ms/remote-connect while being given an authentication code. Sadly, you can't just straight up log into your Microsoft account on the Switch. You must go through a secondary device to authenticate the console. Ultimately, it's not that big of a deal since you only have to do it once. However, it's still a hassle that could be fixed and streamlined. After you've logged in, you'll probably be wondering if your achievements, custom skin, and things of that nature have linked over, but sadly, they haven't. Achievements seem to be device specific as well, which is fine. Even though the Nintendo Switch Bedrock version of the game obviously uses Microsoft's Gamerscore as a unit of measurement. You know what does link though? Purchases. Anything you've bought through any other Bedrock version of the game is completely present in this version of the game as well. So have fun messing around with all of your skins, resource packs, maps, or whatever else you've bought from the store. Now, let's get into making a Minecraft world. On the Nintendo Switch Bedrock edition of the game, the world settings are almost exactly the same as the Windows 10 edition. The only major difference is that the Nintendo Switch Bedrock's simulation distance is capped at 8 chunks rather than the Windows 10 edition's 12. Something great about the Nintendo Switch Bedrock edition is that it can currently utilize experimental gameplay and Education Edition gameplay as well, just like its other Bedrock counterparts. Resource packs and behavior packs are also available. Whether or not you can fully customize and put in your own resource and behavior packs is currently unknown. However, I can't imagine you wouldn't be able to do this through some sort of file manipulation, possibly through the microSD card. Another plus comes in the fact that any saves made on the previous Nintendo Switch edition of the game can be brought over into this current Bedrock edition. However, one downside, it doesn't seem like you're able to move Wii U saves to the Nintendo Switch Bedrock edition, like you can bring them from Wii U over to the old Nintendo Switch edition of the game, so you may lose access to your old Wii U saves if you haven't bought the previous Nintendo Switch edition. So now, gameplay. Mostly, all of the settings are the exact same as they are on the Windows 10 edition of the game. However, the render distance on the Switch Bedrock edition is capped at 14 chunks as opposed to Windows 10 limiting chunk render distance based on the amount of video RAM that your graphics card has. In the case of Michael McChill, his render distance is 72. In the audio settings for the game, the Switch Bedrock edition currently lacks the ability to enable text-to-speech for chat. In general, the game feel is great, docked or undocked. Playing in undocked mode doesn't make you lose rendered chunks like it did in the original Nintendo Switch edition of the game, and the Switch Bedrock edition seems like it can handle the extra weight well with infinitely sized worlds. If you're playing undocked, you'll be happy to know that the touchscreen crafting is officially in this version of the game, even though the previous Nintendo Switch edition didn't have it. Also, commands are more intuitive than ever. Plugging in a keyboard to the Nintendo Switch dock will allow you to type commands much easier than using the on-screen keyboard. However, unlike the Xbox One Bedrock Edition, the Nintendo Switch does not have mouse and keyboard support to control the game, even though the Nintendo Switch's dock has multiple USB ports. I'm not sure if this is an issue with Nintendo or Microsoft, but if it's something that Microsoft can add, I really hope that they do. So, if you know me, then you know that I love to break Minecraft. So what did Michael McChill and I try the moment that we got our hands on this copy of the game? We tried to break it. And surprisingly, this version of the game can handle a lot of things. Stress testing it with TNT proved that it just wouldn't lag, primarily because the Bedrock editions of the game don't drop entities, but loading the screen with lots of mobs didn't lag it much either. While it will certainly drop a few frames, it takes a lot to get it to that point. On top of that, because you know I had to check it out, yes, the Farlands are currently present in the Nintendo Switch Bedrock edition of the game, like they are with the mobile versions of the game as well, but whereas they're actually lacking from the Windows 10 version. What this means is that the Nintendo Switch edition of the game is more akin to the Apple iPhone edition, which makes sense considering Nintendo and Apple have been competing to get their hands on the same exact parts to produce their respective hardware. So, final thoughts. Honestly, the brand new Minecraft for the Nintendo Switch is definitely worth your purchase if you haven't already bought the previous Nintendo Switch edition of the game. Right now, this is one of the smoothest Minecraft playing experiences available and is hands down the best portable version of the game, period. No argument in my opinion. On top of everything I've already said in this video though, the Better Together update makes it easier than ever to play with your friends. Rather than bringing a Windows 10 laptop or an Xbox over to a friend's house to play Minecraft with one another, or having to deal with the touch controls of a phone version, now all you have to do is bring your Nintendo Switch. Plus, if your friends have Minecraft on the Switch too, you can play locally on the same network without having to play over the internet. Quite literally, Microsoft has made it easier than ever to play with your friends, and the Nintendo Switch Bedrock edition of the game is arguably one of the very best ways to do it. So before I go ending off this video, I wanted to give you guys a bit of a live demonstration as to how this version of Minecraft handles lag. And the way that we're going to do that is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load up a world here, and I am going to just detonate a whole bunch of TNT so that you guys can see that this version of Minecraft actually handles lag pretty well. Because when you think about mobile versions of Minecraft, it may be easy to think that it's a very watered down version of the game, but it's also easy to forget that the Nintendo Switch is more powerful than the Nintendo Wii U, so there's that to consider as well. And while I won't be able to test this in undocked mode, it's pretty safe to say that if I go ahead and I blow up this 20 by 20 by 20 cube of TNT, if it works in undocked mode, or if it works in docked mode, it's probably going to work in undocked mode as well. So yeah, let's just, you know what, let's just go ahead and let's blow this up here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit ZL, and then I'm going to run. Oh, it jumped. Okay, let's go up here, and yeah. So what you're gonna notice is that, like, the TNT itself is just, it's gonna start lagging the game. There's gonna be all kinds of TNT flying around just like you would expect, but you're not gonna see a whole lot of terrain updating right away. At first you did, and you can kind of see the land immediately around the explosion area had a little bit of updates, but now for the amount of TNT that's exploding, there's like no way that it's caused that little amount of damage. So yeah, pretty much what you have to do from this point is you just kind of have to stick around. You just kind of have to enjoy the party. You just kind of have to enjoy the scenery. And before too long, it takes a little bit. It takes maybe, you know, 1 or 2 minutes or whatever. It really does depend on how much TNT you wind up detonating. But eventually, like, the game is going to sort of stay in this state where you're getting about a frame per second, but things otherwise, you know, like, aren't really going too much slower than that. And before too much longer, you're going to notice that the TNT is going to start speeding up. So we're a little over 1 frame per second right now, I think. But yeah, just my screen is just full of entities. Yeah, I don't think that entities are going to drop as a result of this TNT exploding. If someone is, say, hosting on a Windows 10 server and then you blow up TNT on their server, then you will get entity drops just because they're the one hosting the server. But since this is a single player world on the Nintendo Switch edition, yeah, like, my frame rate is already coming back, and it's almost completely back already. And yeah, just like that. I mean, okay, you can see there's a little bit of a lag. I'm just kind of waiting for that to update. Let me go ahead and let me drop down towards it. But there is no item drops because of TNT in this version of the game, so you don't really have to worry about there being tons and tons and tons of items on the ground. There might be a few of them, and I think a lot of that is going to have to do with gravel and how it lands on the ground. Yeah, as you can see here, this is gravel right here, and this one down here, this is also gravel. So there's going to be a couple instances where you're going to have a few stragglers of entities, but nothing like having thousands and thousands and thousands of entities on the ground. And yeah, just like that, there is a giant hole in the ground, and the game is just as smooth now as it was before. There's no lingering lag or anything like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. The Nintendo Switch edition of Minecraft, this new one, handles lag really quite well. So what do you think about this new version of Minecraft? Have you bought the old one? If not, are you going to buy this one? Are you excited to play with your Xbox friends on your Nintendo Switch or anything of that nature? Let me know in the comment section down below. But other than that, that just about does it for me for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on it, because it would really help out myself and Michael McChill, who co-wrote and edited this video, the channel and the video quite a lot. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed. My name is AntVenom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.